Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're looking at the research of creative technologist Chris Chowan, and we're going to explore a really fascinating new way of creating that turns programming from a super technical skill into more of a creative conversation.
So let's just start with a thought. Imagine you have this brilliant idea for an app or a website, whatever. What if you didn't have to learn a bunch of complicated code? What if you could just, describe it, explain the goal, the feeling, the vibe, and just have it pop into existence?
Well, that's not science fiction anymore. It's a real, emerging practice called vibe coding, and it is completely changing the game for who gets to be a creator in our digital world.
At its core, vibe coding is about treating AI as your creative partner, not just a tool. Think of it like a dialogue. You, the human, you bring the vision, the intuition, the direction. The AI, it handles the nitty-gritty technical stuff.
The actual process is this really fast back and forth. You explain what you want, the AI spits out some code, you try it out and say, okay, cool, but can we make this button a little bigger, or let's change the tone here, and you just keep going, repeating that little conversational loop, tweaking and refining until what you had in your head is right there on the screen.
So what does this look like in the real world? Let's follow the story of the researcher himself, Chris Chowan, and see how vibe coding can unlock projects that used to feel totally out of reach.
So for years, Chowan had this amazing idea for an augmented reality business card. One where a little 3D avatar of him would pop up and give his intro, but he just didn't have the deep coding chops to get it to work everywhere on all different devices. It's the classic problem, right? Great idea, but a massive technical wall.
And his journey just shows this incredibly fast evolution. It started with simple stuff in 2022, just getting an AI to make a basic web page. But by 2023, he was using it as this sophisticated partner to finally nail that complex AR project. And that whole experience is what led him to actually formalize and study vibe coding for his PhD.
But here's the thing, this powerful way of working isn't just for a single person working alone. It also has the potential to completely shake up how teams, especially teams with a mix of techies and non-techies, can build things together.
For a great example, just look at the Bridewell Challenge. In this project, you had this diverse group, educators, designers, researchers, all trying to build an AI learning assistant for young students. And vibe coding was the main way they did it.
And this is where the magic of vibe coding really shines. Picture this, you are in a workshop, and a teacher suggests, hey, could the AI's personality sound more like a supportive friend? Now, normally, that's a note that goes into a ticketing system for a developer to look at next week. Here, they just described that change to the AI, and boom, a new version was ready to test right then and there. It let the experts who weren't coders directly shape the app in real time.
Okay, so this brings us to the tools themselves, because a whole ecosystem of these things has sprung up, and the crucial part is they aren't all the same. Each one has a different feel, a different kind of personality, and is better for different kinds of creative work.
And you can really see that range of partnership here. Gemini AI Studio feels like a sketchbook, perfect for just getting ideas down fast. OpenAI's Codex is more like a professional teammate. It's all about reliability. Claude Code is great for when you want to talk through an idea and explore possibilities. And GitHub Copilot is like that everyday buddy that just helps you keep the momentum going. The tool you pick really shapes how you create.
But of course, this new super fast way of working isn't some magic wand. It comes with some really serious challenges that we absolutely have to talk about.
Check this out. Multiple studies have found that about a quarter, 1 in 4 pieces of AI-generated code can have hidden security flaws. So all that incredible speed that makes vibe coding so powerful, it can also introduce some pretty big risks.
And we are not talking about minor bugs. We're talking about serious stuff, like leaving digital keys exposed or creating weaknesses that could lead to data breaches. And honestly, a huge part of the problem is just us. We start to trust the AI too much, assuming that if the code works, it must be safe. And that is a dangerous assumption to make.
So you're left with this fundamental tension. On one side, vibe coding gives you amazing speed, opens up creativity for everyone. But on the other side, it can lead to projects that are fragile, unpredictable, and insecure. The whole future of this thing really depends on finding a way to get the best of both.
And that tension brings us to maybe the biggest shift of all, how vibe coding is completely redefining the role of the person who's creating. And this quote from the research just hits the nail on the head. The creative act isn't about mastering the syntax, the commas and brackets anymore. It's about vision. It's about direction. You become the director, guiding your AI partner, not the technician typing every single command.
So in this new world, you need a different kind of skill. It's not just about learning to code, it's about AI literacy. And that really just means being able to work critically with an AI, knowing its strengths, its weaknesses, how to guide it, and how to look at what it gives you with a critical eye.
Which leaves us with one last big question to think about. If artificial intelligence becomes the technician, the one that handles all the complex code and execution, what's the new essential skill for us humans? What do we need to learn to really thrive in this new age of co-creation?